Welcome inside TCO Studios. I'm Tatum Everett, and this is Pick 6, presented by KFAN, the Wild Card Week edition. This is, of course, the show where you ask the questions and we get Vikings players, coaches, legends, and media experts to answer them. Those, of course, being submitted on social media via Twitter to my social handle @Tatum Everett. And there were some really good ones this week, so we'll kick things off with question number 1 coming to us from Christopher Reed. He asks, will the Vikings try to exploit the run defense of the Giants again, especially if they sit in a too high safety look, or will they try and drop back and allow the Giants to blitz our weakened offensive line? Well, this sounded like a wonderful question for the voice of the Vikings, Paul Allen.
Christopher Reed, excellent question, because Dalvin was running dominantly early in the game against the Giants, 41 rushing yards in the first quarter, and he did a lot to pave the way for the first touchdown for TJ Hawkinson. It's a balance, it's a mix here, because it's the we know that you know that they know that we know that you know, and it's the cat and mouse game of run and pass and O'Connell versus Martindale and then the players on the field. So when they blitz, if they blitz and the Vikings run and the Giants miss, that could be a long one for Dalvin. Can't wait to call it.
Thanks, Paul. The Giants blitzed more than 50% of the time in last meeting, so expect much of that again. Well, it's now time for question number 2, and that's coming to us from Steve in Sioux Falls. He wants to know, we're seeing an increase in Danielle Hunter's production. It looks like he's his old self again. Do you think we should keep playing him the way we have been, or go back to what he knows best, hand in the ground, rushing the QB? Well, we thought this would be a great question for legendary Vikings linebacker Chad Greenway.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Danielle Hunter is one of our most important players. I think our pass rush defensively is probably one of the aspects of our game that has to continue to get better. And when he plays well, our defense tends to play a lot better. So I think we need to continue to pay Danielle. I think we need to continue to get Danielle in good positions to go help us impact the game. And if we do that, I think our defense will be a lot better off. So yeah, great question. Thanks for it, Steve.
Thanks, Chad. Danielle Hunter recorded 2 sacks in the last meeting with the Giants, and he has 10.5 on the season so far. Question number 3 is next. Let's get Vikings Entertainment Network's Gabe Henderson in on this one from a Twitter submission. John Briggs asks, will we be seeing more KJ Osborne targets moving forward? Take it away, Gabe.
John, appreciate the question. Rewind back to Christmas Eve against the New York Giants. JJ, 25 catches. This upcoming week, all the attention for the New York Giants are going to go to those 2 guys, which opens up more opportunities for KJ, who's been going crazy these past couple of weeks. I can't predict what he's going to do on Sunday, but I know somebody who has a bold prediction for KJ's stat line on Sunday.
KJ Osborne will have his first career playoff touchdown reception, and it's going to sound like this.
Touchdown, KJ!
Skol, baby!
Thanks, Gabe. KJ Osborne surpassed 100 yards twice this season, including a career day against the Colts. Well, it's time now for question number 4. It comes to us from Twitter and from JoJo. She wants us to ask any player, how are experienced players preparing the rookies for playoff football? We caught up with Harrison Phillips, who has quite the playoff background.
Hey, JoJo, thank you for the question. This will be my 4th year in a row heading to the playoffs, and I think some advice for the younger players is that, number one, you don't always get this again. You know, you look at the Super Bowl champion from last year, and they're not even in the dance this year. So when it comes to the offseason, more future, you can't think that what you had done will get you here again. So you have to, even do more. And then the time being for the right now, you don't really have to do anything too extra because you should have been doing that already. So just trust the process that got you here and lean in on that.
Thanks again to Harrison Phillips for his time. He'll be busy on Sunday as he and the rest of the Vikings defensive line try to contain Saquon Barkley and the Giants. Well, it's time now for question number 5. It's from Eric Hansen on Twitter. He asks thoughts on TJ Hawkinson's productivity thus far. Better, worse, or about what was expected, and his overall effectiveness on the offense. Well, Vikings legend and Vikings Ring of Honor member Steve Jordan was kind enough to answer this question for us.
Well, it's been good, positive, and immediate. Since being here in week 9, in his first game, he had 9 receptions, and he's contributed every week since then. So Coach O'Connell must be thrilled to have a tight end that can come in and be a big target, athletic, and it seems to be increasing his targets. So it has been quite good in terms of his impact to the team. I also would have to give an appreciation to our Vikings general manager, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, to pull out the stops to get TJ here and bring in some more horsepower at a position that we had some stress due to injuries.
Such a great question for this week because the last time against the Giants, TJ Hockenson had a career day with 13 catches for 109 yards and 2 scores. We're going to round out Pick 6 with our final question, another Twitter submission, this time from Judah Matthew. He asks, who was a dark horse MVP this season? We reached out to KFAN's Power Trip morning show's Meat Sauce to give his perspective on who the dark horse Vikings MVP is.
Hey, it's Meat Sauce here from the Power Trip Morning Show, heard weekdays 5:30 to 9 on KFAN. My dark horse candidate for Vikings MVP of the year is Christian Darrisaw. I think he got passed over in the NFC Pro Bowl voting, and I think that made him upset, and I just think he's the best young left tackle in football, and he's somebody that will play for this team for the next probably 10 to 15 years. He's an incredible left tackle. All the highlights, it just looks like he's playing a video game in slow motion. Christian Darrisaw is my dark horse MVP for your 2022 Minnesota Vikings. Go Vikings, beat the Giants. Bye.
Not to mention, CD had one of the best one-liners of the season. Aw, Kirko, chill. Well, there will be no chill on Sunday when the Vikings host the Giants in the wild card game. Kickoff at 3:30 on Fox. Be sure to be loud if you attend, and be loud if you're watching from home as well. And speaking of, if you want to get your questions on here and be loud, we will take submissions on Twitter. You can follow me at Tatum Everett, and maybe your question will end up on the next edition of Pick 6, presented by KFAN. For now, I'm Tatum Everett inside TCO Studios, and best of luck this weekend, Skol Vikes.